about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and here he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skilled by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden Barrett and an early touch and an excellent.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
The sports ministry has actually marked 193 billion naira for the 2022 budget, which actually cut across both the youth and a sports sector in the country for the year 2022. Looking at the national stadium, talking about the MQ Abiola Stadium. The contractor at this point in time are saying that they are expected, to hand over the refurbished national stadium to the federal government come November later this year. That is just next month. It's just right by the corner. These are many more will come on today's Sport Orbit. This is our welcome you to yet another fresh edition of your favorite sports show, Sport Orbit, right here on the Leadership Podcast Studio. My name is Olawale Ayeni. I'm your host for today. And today we'll be having sports editor striking alongside with me in today's show, Salif Usman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure back on the station.
Of course, looking at the news, actually, coming in after the president actually submitted the 2022 budget to the National Assembly. We actually cut across the section that actually concern us. That is the sports, section where the Ministry of Youth and Sport expected, to spend 193 billion naira for the year 2022. But looking at the budget for the sports ministry, about 193 billion naira for 2022. We know that all this money is not going to be going for the sport, sector alone. I'm very sure a large number of this money will actually be going on the youth, talking about the NYC and the youth forum. But looking at the section for the youth, we know that the likes of the NFF are going to spend about 1.3 billion for 2022. Also, 2022 is a World Cup year. Eventually, if you get to qualify for the World Cup, looking at the Nigerian Institute of Sport, they have a 1 billion naira for them to actually to spend in the year 2022. But with the whole money flying up and down and all that, do you think this will actually reposition the sporting sector in the country? Will it have a meaningful impact in our sports sector in the country?
Well, thank you. When I saw the budget, one thing that's come across my mind, it shows our lackadaisical attitude to sport development, that we are not serious about talking about sport development in this country. And if you look at the budget by size and by figure, it's a reduction compared to what we have this year. It's about 0.30% less than what happened this year.
Because maybe I thought that this year we went for the Olympic Games.
Yes, but looking at the whole scenario, just like he said, I don't know the constitution of those the constitution of those are the Minister of Youth and Sport who draft this budget. What was running in their mind when they draft this budget? Because if you look at the next year, 22, I don't know 2022, and 2022 is loaded with a whole lot of sporting activity. 2022, if you by the national qualify for World Cup, we'll have a Nations Cup by January. 1, we'll have a World Cup next year. 2, we'll have a Commonwealth Games, 3, and also we have for athletic championship.
Yes.
So all these things together, all loaded in the 2022, and we are having just a portrait of budget of 993 billion for the sports sector. This is just 1.2% of the entire budget of the country. So it shows clearly that in this country we are not ready about sport development. If we are ready about sport development, for a whole lot of 16 billion we are marked for the budget of the year, we are just having just a portion of just 1.2% of that allocation to sport development. And sport development, not just sport, we are talking about in the entire youth. Sport is making up for you. We're talking about the entire this, and the large chunk of this one will also go to the National Youth Service Corps. So I don't really know where are we going to get ready about sport development in this country. Sport is the largest plus of labor in this country, but yet we are not passionate about to commit and to develop sport. We're having a lot of issues around this country, and the only way to get out of this country is to invest in sport development and to build that those who decide can have a place in sport.
But so many people are saying in other developed countries that government does not have anything to do when it comes to financing sport in that part of the country. But here in Nigeria we solely rely on the government getting to give us all the funds we need, because at this point I know that looking at private individuals, it is very, very hard for you to see them getting to sponsor sporting activities in the country. It just takes by the grace of God in quote for private individuals to come and support. But going forward, where should sport, what role should it play when it comes to setting up a budget for the country? Looking at next year, should it take more than 10%, more than 15% of the yearly budget?
Look, to me, it's like you have answered the question. You also asked for yourself. Okay, you see that sport in other climates, in developed climate, sport is privately driven also. But yes, even in this development climate, in other world climate that in developed countries, that the sport is private entirely. But even as that, government still provide a enabling environment for sport to thrive. Then, and what we are saying in this country is government to provide an enabling environment. Ensure that there's a enabling environment for sport development in terms of facility, is security wise, and all those things to put together. And at the same time, if you're talking just like the people we are talking about, this budget is not just for sport alone, it's a budget for the national youth and sport development. And we are just allocating just 1.2% of the entire budget. It's just clear that the government of the government of President Muhammad are not fully committed about the plight of the Nigerian youth. If not, we are committed about the plight of Nigerian youth, what should you, out of the 16 trillion, we are just apportioning just 1.2% of just fund to sport and just like we said, this we are talking about in case people may not know, this entire budget, national youth take the last shock of the money. In Nigeria, then we talk of Nigeria football, we talk of the citizen and development, center for citizen development, and then the national issues of sport, all together share this
particular budget. But looking at the NFF is getting 1.3 billion naira.
And even for instance, NFF is getting 1.3 billion. How much is 1.3 billion naira? If you compare, although in as much I'm not going to hold forth for those in the NFF, because over the year they have not even done anything to convince me. If you like, give them the entire, give them the entire budget. They will never do anything to convince me. But even as that, because we need we need to do something about, because 2020 is a lunar year. We have a Nations Cup again. We have a World Cup. We also have if we qualify for the World Cup. But at least we need to provide. But I hope that this, by the time we qualify for the World Cup, there will be some non-supplementary budget to take care of this. If it is this percentage, this portion that is going to take care of our sport budget, for World Cup and the common, I think we are not yet ready for it.
Of course, looking at the Nigerian Institute of Sport on 1 billion naira, is it enough? Because we know that is where we get to groom, trainers and all the technical officials for the country. But looking at the money, 1 billion naira, will it be enough for them to actually cater for their needs?
How will 1 billion be enough to train the trainers and to provide coaches? And that's why we're not producing good coaches. This is supposed to produce a world first class coaches in this country. But unfortunately, that's some million. That's including capital budget of it. That include the capital budget and
Of
the
course.
current expenses.
And the running
They start early and the running costs all together just into 1 billion. So, well, we hope that one day we'll get it better. But at what we look at what we see over the year, somebody be somewhere asking me what to do and I'll be able to give him to them. What have they done with him? Okay, like I was looking at the 1.3 billion allocated to the NFL, and I was looking at the item on that list which they say they're going to buy a long van to monitor their side project. And I asked myself, this part, whose project are you going to monitor? At the time they say you're going to be the pavilion and the Go project. I remember, okay, this same particular period was listed in the last budget, and you're still bringing it here. So the one approved for the last year, what have you done with it? So a whole lot of questions.
Of course, if you actually get to look at the budget, you see that there's a whole lot that we need to actually look out for. We should actually ask some questions. What have they been doing, with the budget for the year? But some people will say these are just figures. At the end of the day, this money will not be released to the sports ministry and to all those organizations that they have, like for NFF now. At the end of the day, the 1.3 billion may not be given to them. Maybe around 500 million, will be given to them. But how do we ensure that these bodies actually get their needed money being allocated to them in the budget?
If my memory didn't fail me, what I was allocated to NFL last year was about 1.9 or 1.5 billion. Okay, have they come out this year to say the money allocated has not been released? Have they come out to say that the money has not been? So if the government has been approved and it has not been released, then the money will be released. But have they come out to explain to Nigeria? Okay. Have they come out to explain to Nigeria? Okay, these are budget for 2020, 2021. This is what was released and this is what was not released. Have they come out? So sometimes if you ask for this, if you ask for this information, they will be scared to give you this information. But if it's really, if you come out, okay, this is what we have this year, but this is what was released, and based on this what was released, this is what we're able to do with it, and this is what we're able to do. Like I was telling you, the video, the particular, the Good Go project was listed on the budget last year. Okay, if they have come out, okay, we make a provision for this budget last year. But unfortunately, we didn't get money to that, and that's why we are including them back for this year again. But nobody explains it to you. You just see the budget and you drop it down. And I think that I will call those at the National Assembly to do a thorough job to need to do their job thoroughly before approving this budget. But sometimes we know what's going behind the scenes before this budget approved.
Of course, the sports minister and the sporting heads are talking about the administrators. They will actually be invited to the National Assembly for them to actually come and explain the figures that they have actually put down before the money will be approved by the Senate. Away from
but
that,
I bet you that's just a formality.
It's just a formality, of course. Salif will say it's just a formality, but let's just keep our finger crossed and see how that gets to pans out. But away from that, we head straight to our next story where we are talking about Dangote to hand over the Refurbished MKO Abiola Stadium in November. This was actually made known by the head of Aeron Nigeria, who were responsible to actually regrass the national stadium pitch and also to fix the scoreboard, which is VR compliance with international best standard. We actually caught up with them yesterday, and they assured us that by November, football action actually return to Abuja for fans. But just looking at it at this point in time, November is the set date for the football action to return to the Abuja National Stadium. Sadifu, are you excited about this news?
Well, excited or not excited, but to be frank, I hope this November will come to reality. Because I've had many days. This particular project was to be delivered in March. From March to June. From June to any other district, they just keep quiet and everything just keep flowing. So if I don't want to say anything that we may look at it, we don't appreciate what the man in the private sector has done. Dangote is his personal money and his business money to that stadium. We commended him for his effort, for his intervention, and also commended the Minister of Transport for coming with that idea of adopt a pitch, which Dangote take that advantage, and also another one man. Lagos Stadium. I commended the minister for that move, and which are bringing the live Abuja National Stadium back to life. And we hope that the November date, where the new date has been fixed, that being faced now came to a reality and we'll be able to make use of our stadium as expected. So kudos, I commended the Dangote for taking that opportunities, and I believe that we'll be able to make this stadium back to life again.
Of course, I was at the stadium yesterday, and if my producer have the video, he can actually go ahead and play that video. I was at the stadium yesterday, and the contractor talking about DG Adi Soji was saying that about 24 sprinklers in that particular pitch, they have actually collapsed because they were not actually using it. They have to collapse before now because they were not using it. So it actually took them 3 months for them to fix the sprinklers before they can able to get done with the rest of the work. But as you can see, there are still some modulation on the pitch. They still need to do some work about in the world, and he's coming out to say Rohr is not actually technically good for the Super Eagles. In your opinion, what can you actually make of it? Is Rohr good for the Super Eagles or not? We saw him qualifying Nigeria to the World Cup, qualifying Nigeria to the Nations Cup, about to go to the World Cup, couldn't move past second stage against Argentina. We expect that he will actually bring his technical ability to the full, but he did not in that one. lost against South African Republic, and our run in the World Cup qualifiers have not been impressive for some fans and for some coaches.
Yeah. Fuludu has not said any new thing. He's just re-echoed what every Nigerian has been saying. Rohr is not a good coach for the Super Eagles. Super Eagles' job is more than Rohr. We don't. If we are looking for a foreign coach, the person we should need to look at the foreign coach that defeat the status of Nigeria, not a foreign coach who moved from Benin Republic, who goes to Benin Republic, go to Nigeria, who is maybe being appreciated in those countries to come to Nigeria. And okay, look, for 5 years he has been in the shadows. Up to today, we don't even know the pattern is why he was playing.
Of course.
What has he done? Okay, if you are talking, okay, somebody will say, okay, he qualified Nigeria with the World Cup with the match. We'll get this qualification based on luck and based on the capability of the material we have. If not, because we are privileged to have some good players at the moment. If not, we do have even be able to compete at the Nations Cup at any level. Having this kind of a coach. Having this kind of a coach in the shadow, a coach that will stay in Nigeria for over 5 years and he cannot be able to identify any single player from the local scene. Is that the person that will provide this coach? So for me, I mean, sometimes people have said I'm even begin to align myself with the opinion that we need to go have our own local coach managing our national team than the foreign coach. And if at all we are going to a foreign coach, we should go for a first class foreign coach, not just them calling foreign coach.
So people will say, if you look, okay.
Sorry, because if you look at our performance with the foreign coach and the juniors coach, you even see that our even local coach has even performed better than the foreign coach. Okay, if somebody can also ask me, they say, what of West Stafford? Yes, West Stafford did marvelous way, but how many years did it take West Stafford to build that solid form of 1994? It takes him over 4 years to 16, over 4 to 5 years to build that US 94 squad. Okay, Stephen Keshi came to the saddle. How many years did it take Stephen Keshi to win the Nations Cup? It takes Stephen Keshi just within a year, 1.5 years to win the Nations Cup, and he went to the World Cup and get to the second round. Definitely, what it takes West Stafford for 5 years to beat Stephen Keshi, the late Stephen Keshi of less money, within 2 years was able to equal that record.
Of course.
And if you come down to the Super Five, to the Women team, to the Super Cup, all the Nations Cup we have won it with the local coach. But now we're having a foreign coach. What's our Super African achievement? Now we're being beaten by any other team in Africa. So if you look at it, let's be realistic to ourselves based on what I've seen. Even West Africa, of all West Africa, of all praises. How many years did it take him to get us where and how many years did it take Stephen Keshi of blessed memory to achieve the same feat? West Africa was still found that West Africa did the best. Even at the Olympic level, he just but Joe get us the Olympic medal. But Champs himself was also almost get us the Olympic medal. But unfortunately, on 2 occasions, a local coach take us to the semi-final. He went to the final and also take it again to the semi-final. That is our own local coach. So and this foreign coach, and if you also look at it, okay, if defeat 1/3. Let's say 1/3 of support that they are giving to this Genetro. I bet you, if you give it 1/3 of support, how much was it? What's just happening? How much is this man collecting? So what he was collecting over $30,000 a month.
Of course, if you look at records, countries who have actually won the World Cup, those countries actually won the World Cup with their own local coach and not with a foreign coach. And for me too, I also buy the idea that we actually need to look inward. We have good coaches around the country that can actually take up, the role of Coach Genetro, because I can't really for now see his technical impact in the team, because the teams actually. For me, they are playing individually. We saw the game against Central African Republic as players were actually playing individually. They were not actually playing as a team. Every man was actually getting to seek at their own glory. Looking at teams that will qualify for the World Cup, Germany has qualified to the World Cup. They became the first country to qualify for the World Cup with 2 games to spare. So it shows that they are really, really serious of getting to put up an impressive performance when the World Cup 2022 Qatar kicks off next year. Away from that, we went straight to the National Youth Games at this point in time. There were confusion here and there yesterday, but the Sport Ministry have actually put that to bed. The opening ceremony has been scheduled for October 14th. That will actually come up on Thursday, right there at the the University of Ilorin. That will actually take place at about 37 sports. Over 5,000 athletes expected to compete for honor in that particular national youth games. Away from that, we head straight to the news coming from Kwara United at this point in time. News actually broke on Sunday that ex-players actually attacked Kwara United, chased player out of stadium. Findings, according to the general manager, talking about Bashiru Balawi, actually say that those ex-players actually came with a political undertone on it. Those players were not supposed to be chased out. Some coaches are saying because they have a lot of foreign players. Talking about foreign players, not outside the country, like players who are not from Kwara State in the team. They only have 9 players from Kwara State in the team. So according to those guys, they're actually calling for more players from Kwara State
to be players
to be in the team. But Talifu, is this supposed to be like that? But I know in the English Premiership, you just have to have some certain number of percentage of the English, players in your team going forward. But should it be a case? Should not be based on merits, players coming to be going into those teams?
We're in a country where we always dwelling on federal characters, and I think we're in a country where we also believe dwelling on the citizenship. Because if for this time, even in the education sector, if you are schooling in Kano, at the university at the state-owned university, you pay certain. If you come from Kano, you come from Kogi, you school in Kano, you pay more than the indigenous state. And all those things are not supposed to be like that. And at the same time, what they are crying or what they are saying that if you look at the Kwara United Football Club, it's being owned by the Kwara State government, and it's being the players are being paid by the taxpayers who money from the industry. And I believe that if you are being paid by the taxpayer, we should also be the one the idiots of the state who benefit, or not the foreign player you put that state player from another state play. But but to me, if sport, all those things happen because we have government being the one who leads the football club, and government has also supposed to run the football club. It's supposed to be private driven business. If it's a private sector, who cares where you bring the player from? All you want to is to have a good player who can play and win the team. But because we are having a club in this country who being ruled by the government and being managed by the political administrator, being managed by the political talk or support of the foul, support of the governor, that's why we're having all this things play out. To me, it's not the right time. It's not the right way.
I've got you short from there. A last story before we close for today. If Ajagba is set to have a rematch, is actually looking forward for a rematch against Sanchez at this point in time. The Cuba Flash, because the Cuban Flash actually defeated him 98, 92, 91, 98, 91, and actually defeated him 97, 92. So at this point in time, it's looking for a rematch. That particular match was played in Las Vegas on Sunday, and our own Ajagba actually lost his first professional fight in his career for that one. Should he go for a rematch? Looking at the physique of his opponent, talking about Sanchez, should he go for a rematch or he should just call it quits?
And I don't advise him that he's call it quit. He shouldn't call it quit, because if that fought him, maybe he has made a realized mistake why he lost that much and he needed to rectify the mistake and go back to it. If he believes in himself, why not? And if he have the window of the call for a rematch, he should go ahead.
Of course, Chef Ajagba should go ahead and call for a rematch. That is actually coming from Salif Osman at this point. This is where we hit the break for Sports Orbit. Thank you, our viewers, for staying with us on this day's edition. We say Sports Orbit make a return better and bigger tomorrow with yet another mouth-watering, edition. But for now, I'm saying thank you for Salif for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure.
Of course, viewers, thank you for me. I'm saying do have a good day. Bye-bye for now. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
It's about to go down.
badly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Some skill by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix.
Abiola running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix. Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden, Barrett, and an early touch and an excellent.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.